Encouraging signs of another stimulus check. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in this video. Let's get into it right away. But really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video, as I am your one and only daily advocate, and I am very much dedicated to you and this community to do all the research and to break it all down into these short videos so that you can stay updated each and every day with all this new information as it is hitting the wire. It's a busy time out there, so make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so quite yet, so you can stay updated with all of this information as it is being released. Alright, thanks again. Let's jump right into the video. Alright, so in this video, I do want to talk about a few different encouraging signs that are out there right now showing that they recognize additional stimulus is needed. Now, is it needed for everybody? No, not even close. It is only needed for those Americans who are struggling so incredibly badly right now, and I think all of us in this community probably know that is the low income and fixed income beneficiaries. So with that being said, I want to jump into this right away as we do have a lot to talk about and multiple different signs here that I want to talk about in this video. So number one, let's quickly talk about the president. I'm not going to get into this in a ton of detail, but let's talk about it really quickly here. President Biden was out yesterday as he was speaking at a community college in Washington state. He recognized that struggling Americans out there right now need additional things out there to actually lower the cost of living. That was actually the whole premise behind his speech yesterday. It was a speech to actually lower the cost of living. He actually acknowledged, he said it right there in his speech, he acknowledges that there are Americans that are struggling, prices have gotten away from people, and they need to do something to lower the cost of living. In other words, what can you do to help people out right now? You can do two things. You can give them money, or you can dramatically lower prices. Now, obviously, I think all of us would rather get the money so that we can spend it in the ways that we see fit for our lifestyles, our personalities, and where we see fit for what we need, rather than just trying to lower prices on a few handful of different items. But my point is, the key takeaways out of the president's speech yesterday was that he acknowledges that Americans are struggling right now and that prices are out of hand right now, and they need to do something to help out low-income, fixed-income Americans and all of the individuals who are struggling so incredibly badly right now. So that is point number one. Next, I want to point this out as well. This is a very important one we've got to watch closely. They are bringing back the Build Back Better agenda. Now again, it's going to be called something different, but I'm calling it that for now because they don't have a new name for it as of right now. There's been a few different names that have been thrown around, but at this point, they do not have a new name for the Build Back Better agenda. So we could just call it the new stimulus package. It's going to be smaller than the $2.2 trillion package that was actually passed through the House a number of months ago and then went on to the Senate. However, that doesn't really matter. The package was $2.2 trillion. All we need is about $100 billion. So it's a teeny tiny fraction of what was actually passed through the House. So even though it's $2.2 trillion, who cares? Even if it's $1 trillion or $900 billion, it does not matter. All we're looking for is $100 billion. That's all that we need to get done what we need here. A $2,000 stimulus check for 50 million people is $100 billion. It's not that big of a deal considering how much money that they throw around at all kinds of different projects. $100 billion to the federal government is nothing. Seriously, it's nothing for them, right? They spend a lot of money on other projects. So they will be bringing that back here. They're going to be reopening negotiations on that thing, and they want to get it done in the next 3.5 months or so. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that sounds like a very long time from now, but that is kind of the time frame that is on the table as of right now to get that package done. It could be done in a month. It could be done in 3 months. It could be done in 6 months. That's the deal, is we don't know how long it's going to take, but they already have a line in the sand, and they want to get it done in about 3.5 months or so, give or take a couple weeks. But again, you got to stay tuned with all this stuff because there's going to be a lot of changes about this, and there's going to be multiple different provisions within the newly revised skinny portion of the Build Back Better, otherwise known as just the plain old stimulus package. So anyway, as I do get more details, I will certainly keep you updated, but people in Congress, lawmakers, they recognize another package is needed. Good, right? All right, next on my list, all of the different states out there that are sending out stimulus checks. Why are they doing that? Well, number one, there's a few different reasons why. There's a few different, I think, objectives behind why the states and why I also think, too, there's some pretty good momentum behind this. Let me break it down for you. Reason number one is First off, states have tons and tons and tons of cash. Literally tons. Dump trucks full of cash. I mean, seriously. There's probably not dump trucks driving around states full of cash, but that'd be super cool. I would just, go behind them and just hopefully the wind would blow some hundreds out for me. That's not happening. I'm just saying. My point is, there's literally billions upon billions of dollars on the books with all of these states. Here's the thing. States are offering stimulus checks for reason number one, they have tons of cash. Reason number two, they recognize, just like many other people recognize, that there are struggling Americans in their locations, right? In their states, within their borders, and they're trying to do what they can to give back a little teeny tiny fraction of the billions of dollars that they have. They're trying to peel off a few $100 million and give it back to the citizens in the form of direct checks. Tax credits, tax rebates, direct checks, whatever they happen to call them, it's all essentially the exact same thing. A stimulus check on the state level. The states are doing this. There's multiple states out there right now that already have them approved, and these things are going out. In fact, the latest states to approve these is the state of Maine, $850 per person, up to $1,700 for two people. The state of Delaware as well. Again, these are just the most recent states. I had a video out the other day where I talked about all these different states. There's probably, 15 different states out there that I can just think of off the top of my head right now that have either approved or very close to approved stimulus checks on the state level. So that's reason number 2 or number 3? Honestly, I forgot which number I'm on. Either way, this is another reason why. Let me throw out another one for you. And again, this is not a political statement. This is just me being honest, and I think we can all see through this. The next reason would be, it's an election season. We've got the midterm elections coming up. These are straight up bribery checks. I mean, let's just be real with ourselves. Let's not kid ourselves and act like, oh no, it's out of the goodness of their hearts. Not really. It is a little bit because they want to help out the American people who are struggling. They want to do what they can because they have a surge and a surplus of cash on their books right now. But at the same time, it's a bribery check. Let's just be real with ourselves. We can see through this. We know exactly what they're doing. The midterm elections are coming up. What do they want to do? They conveniently want to send out a little bit of cash into the pockets of the people right before the elections. Ooh, didn't see that one coming, right? We've seen this one before. Anyway, my point is, again, this is not a political statement. It's across all the states. The parties do it. We can see right through this. We know how they play these games, right? Even some of the states out there are trying to name the checks after their governors. Oh, that's a shocking development there. Didn't see that one coming either, right? Again, what is the purpose behind this? I mean, obviously, we all know what's going on here, but the fact of the matter is, who cares, right? We're getting the money, and that's what we want. We want to get the money out of these people, out of the states, whatever. They have surpluses. They have the cash. We want the cash. So if they want to give it a fun, cute name, then fine. Give it a cute name. We don't really care. Just give us the money, right? So actually, that is another reason that I wanted to point out. So on the state level there, you can see that very closely. States are recognizing they've got a lot of money, and what can we do with it? Well, let's send it out to the citizens. Pretty cool stuff, right? So then on the federal level, I want to point this out as well. This is also an election year, for Congress. This is the midterm elections will be coming in a handful of months. They recognize this at this point, and again, I want to make it very clear before I say this. This is not a political statement. I do not take sides in my videos. I simply hammer down on both sides equally, right? But here's the point. Democrats right now, they're in full control. They want to maintain control of the House and the Senate. Well, at this point, it's not looking so good for Democrats. I'm just being honest with you based on the reports and everything that I'm reading out there right now. Democrats want to maintain that control. They have the ability to essentially pass anything that they desire right now because they have full control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Therefore, they could whip out one of their reconciliation abilities in Congress, and they can pass essentially any package that they just so desire, just like the American Rescue Plan last year that contained a $1,400 stimulus check. That's the power of a stimulus package and a reconciliation bill. They have that ability. They can whip out a $1,400 check. They could do $2,000. They could do $5,000. They could do any amount of money that they wanted. They could pass another $1.9 trillion package just like they did a year ago. That's what they could do with reconciliation. They have the ability, and they can certainly get it done before the midterm elections. So, just like the states are doing, on the state level, they're conveniently throwing out some money before the elections, and they're naming them fun names after their governors. who says that Congress won't do the same. And again, this is nothing against Democrats. It's nothing against or for them at all. I'm simply making some statements based on what actually goes on. So I think all of us here in this community, you're all very smart people. You get it. You've been around long enough. You've seen the games that they all play. But anyway, if they want to play some games, then by all means, let's play some ball and throw us some green, right? At the end of the day, I feel like whatever, play your games if you want, then make sure that we get some cash in our pockets at the same time, right? We can see through the games. We don't really care. We just know that, fine, give us some cash and we'll do what we need to do, right? So anyway, this is something that's also coming down on the federal level, as in with Congress, right? The midterm elections are coming up and they want to maintain control. What can they do? We all know that money talks, and you know what else walks, right? You know the saying. Anyway, so these are some of the reasons that I have laid out here for you. And again, only time will tell. And realistically, only time will tell how fast Congress can actually do something. But either way, there is support out there for additional checks, and we've seen a lot of talk about this over the last maybe 5-6 weeks or so. As I do get more information on any of this detail, of course, I'll be right back here for you, breaking it down, helping you out in any way that I possibly can. I truly want to get you some more money in your pockets. I'm doing all this research, and I want to be here to help you out in any way possible. So please, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe down below. I am your one and only daily advocate. Make sure to subscribe, share this video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other nearly 2,400 videos right here on the channel. Thanks again for watching. I truly do appreciate it. Enjoy your day, and I'll catch you again later in the next update.